Hi. So in this video, we're going to talk about a type of practice that I call love practice. And essentially, what this type of practice is about is fostering a deeper state of love, which can really only be experienced from self. So the purpose of this type of practice is just to repeatedly come back to love over and over again. And that what this is doing is preparing your faculties, like we talked about in a previous video, preparing your faculties for coming home. And so I want to clarify something. When I say love, I'm not just talking about an emotion like a feeling of affection towards someone, okay? Instead, we're talking about a wider state of being that contains many feelings. And it's not really even a feeling itself, but it contains feelings. And so this state of love also includes acceptance, appreciation. It includes respect. It does include affection. Also things like just a feeling of warmth and even a celebration of what is happening or of a person. And there's many more qualities too. But one of the important commonalities of all these qualities is that they are unconditional. Meaning, I have this for you no matter what, exactly as you are. Okay? And so I think that's very important. And it really comes back to this, what we talked about in a previous video, causeless okayness. Meaning, I have okayness no matter what happens. I have love no matter what you do. This is the unconditional quality that helps us to come home. Okay? And I used to think that this is not something that we could practice. I used to think this only would naturally arise after doing a lot of healing work. And I do think that happens. But I also have found that we can practice this. Okay? And so I'm going to offer you a practice that you can try. And then you get to also make tweaks to it on your own. Okay? So this is a starting point for you. And then whatever changes feel right to you, you can make those changes. And so I learned this practice from the fundamental well-being research. And they learned it a lot, primarily from a man named Lester Levinson. But really, this is just a spin on an ancient type of practice that's been practicing across many traditions, as compassion practice or as different prayer forms for, thousands of years. So this is nothing new. And there is a handout I'll send you. So you don't have to memorize all of this, but I'll go through it with you. So I'm just going to read the handout. So for this practice, love is not just a feeling of affection, but is also a sense of unconditional acceptance, appreciation, respect, affection, warmth, or celebration, or anything else like this. It doesn't have to be all those things. It could be any one of those things or something like that. And that the purpose of this practice is to train your nervous system, right, which is just another way of saying prepare your faculties, to return more quickly to abiding love, abiding self. Okay, that place inside that already holds this feeling of I'm okay, causeless okayness, as well as causeless peace, calm, joy, belonging, etc. And so I'm going to talk about the steps of the practice, and that you will be doing these steps repeatedly, but we'll just start by one repetition of it, but you're going to be doing each of these over and over and over again. And so the first step is to think of a person from your life. Any person. You can do this now. Imagine this person in front of you. And then what emotions come up? This is step 2. What emotions come up as you imagine this person? Just see what comes up. And if it's any emotion other than love, right, other than acceptance or appreciation or warmth, etc., you just ask inside, can I change this to love? And just see what happens. And so love might naturally arise for you around this person, or it might not, and that would be just fine. And so you can actually generate or create love for this person. Again, love meaning acceptance or affection, warmth, any of these things. And so you can try some of these in order to help if you can't change it to love. Okay, you can just try. One of the things you can do is just try it again. Try again to change it to love. See what happens. Try again, a few times. Also, you can remember, this doesn't have to be this kind of warm affection, I want to give you a hug. It could be acceptance. Any kind of unconditional quality of, you are okay the way you are. I don't need to change you. Any of that comes from love. Okay? Another thing you can try is, if there's a person who comes up as you're doing this, because you're going to be doing this with many people, okay? You're going to make a list of names. And if in your list of names there's someone you see there, comes up, who is difficult to love, then what you can do, one thing you can do is you can imagine a person who is easy to love and just kind of shift that love onto the person who's harder to love. See what happens there. One I really like is that if someone maybe has hurt you or who has done something that has been upsetting to you in your life, that you can imagine this person from their best self, explaining that what they did or what they have been doing comes from a place of fear and pain, and that if they're from their best self, that they could say this to you, and they could say that they're sorry, that they didn't mean to hurt you, but they were just afraid, didn't know what else to do. And that every human being actually is capable of this if they were somehow to magically be healed from all their pain. Every human being would be capable of this, okay? And so then the practice itself is to write down a list of people, probably from different time periods in your life. And it's probably good to choose some people who are easy to love and some who are a little more difficult to love. But different people from different times in your life, and make a list. Maybe 40 to 50 people on the list, but it doesn't really matter. You can do it however you want. And just go through the list, reading a name, imagining the person, seeing what emotion comes up, seeing if you can change it to love. And then just do that again, over and over and over again. Okay? And that this can be your spiritual practice. You can do this for 20, 30, 40, 60 minutes. Okay? The more time, the better. And that this could be spread out, although I really recommend a minimum of 20 minutes. The other thing is that, I forgot it right now, sorry. I'll remember it later. There's, on the worksheet itself that I sent you, there is a list of just kind of frequently asked questions, and then other things that are helpful. So one of the things I think is really helpful is you can do this with a part of you. So you can put like a name of a part of you, like anxious part or thinking part or whatever. You can put a name of a part on your list and see if you can feel love for your own parts. That's really helpful. Another thing I really encourage you to do is that at some point in your practice, you might notice that you visualize the person, you feel love for them, that you can just allow the person to fade from your imagination and notice that there is still love there. That there's no person or object of the love, but that there is love here anyways. And that in this love you might notice some other qualities. Maybe you notice calm or stillness or okayness. And so if this is possible, to just allow the person to fade away and just rest in the love itself, in the calm, in the peace, in the okayness, I really invite you to do this some too. And then when you get then distracted or lost in thought, you come back to the list, practice the love, and then see if you can just rest into the love, sink into the love. Okay, this will be really great for you. All right? So one of the other things I wanted to say was that, really resting in this is all aspirational. This is all kind of will gradually arise for you. And so if you're not noticing, a lot of deep sense of love or okayness or stillness, that's fine. Okay? It's going to take some time. Okay? All right. Have fun.